The chittering laughter of the Kobali cut off abruptly as they fell to their knees, multifaceted eyes wide with terror, pleading for the humans' help. Just hours ago, the insectoid aliens had ridiculed Ricky Dixon's archaic combat strategies. Now they were begging for his aid against an implacable foe. Ricky was a grizzled human veteran, tapped to train the security forces of a Kobali mining colony on remote Zephyrus. The haughty Kobali saw humans as crude primitives, barely tolerated for grunt work. Pryler, the colony's commander, delighted in dismissing Ricky's advice to patch holes in their high-tech defenses. Strange accidents plagued the mines. Ricky smelled sabotage but was ignored. When perimeter alarms blared one night, Kobali rushed out with plasma rifles charged. Their beams splashed harmlessly against the thick carapaces of the swarm, a vicious insectoid race that stripped worlds bare. Ricky knew superior technology meant nothing against the swarm's raw ferocity. If the Kobali stubbornly refused to abandon their posts and flee to the ships, the creatures would flood in and slaughter every last colonist, and the aliens' ships were Ricky's only ticket off this hellhole. The veteran took a deep breath. He would need to violate his most sacred oath as a soldier, never leave a man behind. Ricky had to find a way to delay the onslaught long enough for the ships to escape, even if it meant sacrificing himself. The lives of the arrogant Kobali and humanity's tenuous alliance with the enigmatic aliens now depended on the skills of a single, aging human warrior. Ricky's mind raced as the bone-chilling shrieks of the swarm echoed through the colony's corridors. He sprang into action, his combat instincts kicking in. Ricky rallied the handful of humans on the base, barking orders as he led them through the winding passages. "Move it, people! We've got protocols for this," Ricky shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. The group hurried after him, their faces etched with fear and determination. Ricky guided them to a hidden bunker deep beneath the colony's surface, a secret he had kept from the Kobali. The heavy blast doors groaned open, revealing a cache of weapons and supplies specifically tailored to combat the swarm. As the humans geared up, the sounds of battle raged above them. Pryler and the Kobali forces fought desperately to repel the invaders, their advanced plasma rifles and force fields proving useless against the relentless tide of chitinous bodies and razor-sharp claws. Ricky tried to reach Pryler on the comms, his voice urgent. "Pryler, listen to me! You need to pull back. I've got experience fighting these things. Let me help." But the Kobali commander's response was filled with stubborn pride. "We do not require your assistance, human. The Kobali will handle this ourselves." Ricky gritted his teeth in frustration as he watched the swarm tear through the colony's defenses on the bunker's monitor screens. He and his team tracked the creature's movements using hidden cameras and sensors, their eyes widening as they realized the swarm's true purpose. "They're not just attacking randomly," Ricky muttered, his brow furrowed in concentration. "They're searching for something." A sinking feeling settled in his gut as he recalled the strange accidents in the mines. The Kobali's excavations must have unearthed something ancient and dangerous, something that had drawn the swarm to Zephyrus like moths to a flame. Time was running out. The Kobali forces were falling rapidly, their screams of terror and agony filling the air. Ricky knew he had to act fast, to find a way to make Pryler see reason before the swarm consumed the entire colony and unleashed the deadly secret buried in the depths of the mines. With the screams of dying Kobali ringing in his ears, Ricky knew he had to act. He couldn't sit safe in the bunker while brave soldiers fell to the swarm. Ricky donned his trusty exosuit, a relic from the Terran swarm wars that could withstand the monster's claws and acid. He grabbed his modified pulse rifle, a weapon designed to pierce the swarm's thick carapace. Ricky burst from the bunker. The once pristine halls of the mining colony were splattered with sticky green blood and littered with ravaged Kobali corpses. Distant plasma fire strobed red emergency lights, and everywhere the skittering of thousands of clawed feet. Ricky's skin crawled as he crept through corridors strewn with dead swarm drones. At any moment, he expected a tidal wave of gnashing mandibles to round the corner and tear into him, but he had to reach the control room, There had to be a reason the swarm targeted this specific colony. When Ricky finally burst into the command center, he found a scene from hell. A pitiful handful of injured Kobali huddled behind overturned consoles, desperately firing at the chittering hordes in the doorways. And there was Prylar, once so haughty, now wild-eyed with dread as he blasted a drone off his leg. "Prylar, let me help. I've fought these bastards before," Ricky shouted, pulse rifle flaring, as he dropped a hulking soldier swarm. The Kobali commander looked at Ricky as if he were a phantom. With his arrogant facade shattered, Prylar relented. "Very well, human. You've made your point. Tell us what to do." Ricky and Prylar fought their way to the main terminal, the human showing the Kobali commander how to target the swarm's weak spots. With the controls secured, they scoured the mainframe for clues. And there it was, a classified report on an alien artifact, unearthed in the mines. Round, pulsing, radiating a signal that seemed to draw the swarm like sharks to blood. "That's it! That orb is what they want. We have to destroy it," Ricky declared. Madness. "Do you know what you're suggesting? We'd have to fight through the heart of their hive?" Just then a piercing shriek shook the room. Ricky and Prylar turned to see a nightmarish form shoving through the shattered doors, crushing drones beneath its bulk. Towering on serrated limbs, crowned with dripping fangs, its compound eyes burned with malevolent hunger. It was a swarm queen come to claim her prize. Ricky felt his blood turn to ice. They were out of time. Ricky and Prylar burst through the control room doors, the swarm queen's thunderous roar shaking the walls. The tide of skittering horrors surged in behind them, fangs bared and claws slashing. Ricky fired his rifle one-handed while dragging the injured Kobali commander with the other. "Move, Prylar. We need to seal the blast doors," Ricky shouted over the cacophony. They stumbled down the flickering corridor, the light strobing madly. Prylar's long fingers flew over the control panel, and the heavy doors groaned shut with a resounding clang. The swarm's furious scratching and pounding reverberated through the metal. Slumping against the wall, Ricky caught his breath. "Prylar, listen carefully. That artifact isn't just calling to the swarm. It's making them smarter, adapting to our defenses. If the Queen gets her claws on it—" Prylar's multifaceted eyes widened in horrified understanding. She could become unstoppable, an intelligent swarm spreading across the stars, consuming everything in its path. Ricky nodded grimly. "We have to destroy that damned orb." The Kobali commander straightened, his earlier arrogance replaced by steely resolve. "I was a fool to ignore your warnings, human. The Kobali... We were wrong. Let me make this right. Tell me your plan." Ricky pulled up a holographic map of the mining complex. "We need to lure the Queen away from the artifact chamber. I'll rig it to blow while you keep her busy. You know these tunnels better than anyone." Prylar traced a winding route with a clawed finger. "I can lead her on a merry chase through the deepest shafts. But Ricky, if I don't make it back—" The human clasped the alien's shoulder. "You will. Now go give that bitch hell." As Prylar disappeared into the gloom, Ricky sprinted towards the artifact chamber. The orb pulsed with malevolent energy, bathing the room in a sickly glow. Ricky set to work, carefully placing explosive charges around the pedestal. But as he drew closer to the artifact, a strange compulsion seized him. The orb's light intensified, tendrils of energy snaking out to caress his exosuit. Ricky's vision filled with blinding radiance, and he felt the ground fall away. When the light faded, Ricky found himself standing tall, his exosuit thrumming with newfound power. He could feel the swarm's hive mind brushing against his thoughts, their alien consciousness suddenly comprehensible. With a fierce grin, Ricky charged out of the chamber to face the swarm queen. It was time to end this once and for all. Ricky surged through the mining complex's twisting tunnels like a man possessed, his enhanced exosuit pulsing with the artifact's eldritch energy. The swarm's hive mind buzzed at the edges of his consciousness, guiding him unerringly toward the heart of the infestation. He burst into a cavernous chamber, the air thick with the stench of ichor and decay. There, amidst a seething mass of chittering drones, stood Prylar, The Kobali commander was pinned against a wall, his once pristine armor shredded and oozing viscous green blood. Looming over him was the Swarm Queen herself, her monstrous form poised to deliver the killing blow. "Hey, bitch," Ricky bellowed. "Pick on someone your own size." The Queen whirled to face him, her compound eyes blazing with malevolent hunger. She lunged at Ricky, scythe-like claws slashing through the air, but Ricky was ready. His reflexes supercharged by the artifact's power, he dodged and weaved, his pulse rifle flaring as he poured a barrage of searing plasma into the Queen's armored hide. The two titans clashed in a whirlwind of slashing claws and thundering blows, the very ground shaking beneath their feet. Ricky could feel the swarm's influence seeping into his mind, whispering dark promises of power and dominion. He gritted his teeth, fighting to maintain his grip on his humanity. With a roar of defiance, Ricky unleashed a devastating uppercut that sent the Queen crashing into the chamber wall. The creature slumped to the ground, stunned. Ricky turned to Prylar, his voice strained. "Go! Get the survivors out, detonate the charges." Prylar struggled to his feet, his multifaceted eyes wide. "Ricky, what about you?" "I have to destroy the artifact. It's the only way to stop this once and for all." Understanding dawned on Prylar's face. He drew himself up, offering Ricky a solemn salute. "Your sacrifice will not be forgotten, human. I will ensure your story is told throughout the stars." As Prylar limped away, Ricky turned to face the stirring Queen and her swarm. He could feel the artifact's power surging within him, mingling with his own fierce determination. He knew he had to buy time for the Kobali to escape, to give them a chance at a future free from the swarm's terror. The Queen lunged at him once more, her jaws snapping. Ricky met her head-on, his fists pounding against her carapace. The chamber shook with the fury of their battle, the air filled with the deafening clamor of clashing chitin and rending metal. Ricky's mind raced as he fought, the seconds ticking down to the detonation. Just a little longer, just a few more moments. The Queen's claws raked across his chest, sparks flying from his battered exosuit. Ricky's vision blurred, the swarm's whispers growing louder in his mind. He could feel his strength waning, his body pushed to its limits. And then, the world erupted in a blinding flash of light and heat. The charges had detonated, the explosions ripping through the mining complex. Ricky felt the ground give way beneath him, the chamber collapsing in a cascade of rock and twisted metal. As the flames engulfed him, Ricky's last thoughts were of the countless lives he had saved, of the future he had secured for the galaxy. He had given everything, sacrificed all that he was, to ensure that the swarm would never again threaten the innocent. In the heart of the inferno, Ricky Dixon, the hero of Zephyrus, breathed his last. The artifact's power dissipated, and with it, the swarm's unnatural vitality. Across the mining complex, the chittering hordes withered and crumbled, their bodies disintegrating into ash. From the safety of their fleeing ships, Prylar and the surviving Kobali watched as the explosion consumed the colony. Tears streamed down Prylar's face as he whispered a prayer for the fallen human, a vow to honor his memory and forge a new path of unity among the stars. In the days and years that followed, the tale of Ricky Dixon's bravery spread far and wide. The Kobali, once so dismissive of humanity, now spoke of them with reverence and respect. Prylar became a tireless advocate for cooperation between species, working to build bridges of understanding and shared purpose. And though the galaxy mourned the loss of its greatest hero, it also celebrated the dawn of a new era, a time of peace and harmony bought with the blood and sacrifice of a single indomitable human warrior. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.